is Devin Shea. I'm a 20-year experienced junior architect and AEC professional. I am a BIM expert, implementation specialist, and Revit consultant. I have worked on Revit projects in over 30 different disciplines, 5 countries, 15 states, and I've worked on Revit projects in every occupancy type. As a trainer and consultant, I have taught at 7 schools and 5 Autodesk training centers. I have taught over 2,000 professionals in Revit in 2 countries and 15 states. I have been teaching engineers, architects, and artists how to draw for over 20 years. Feel free to follow me on LinkedIn and YouTube and enjoy the videos.
Okay. So okay, yeah, I got you. Okay.
Okay.
Well, thanks for your patience. With you, I was just on the phone with Tim, and he's getting us the drawing review tomorrow.
Oh, that's great.
So he had it, and they were working on it. But he hadn't really responded. So.
Good job, Tim.
So, Devin, thanks for making some time to chat with us, and I think Mike's joining as well.
Cool.
We just wanted to get. I know that like recently we had a whole series of updated consultant models, and you were helpfully getting them in order for us, and I just wanted to make sure that we understood the process that you were using for mechanical and electrical, which I think is one process, and then structural, which is a different process that I think is using the more advanced like BIM 360 capabilities that we hadn't really explored as a team before, and I just thought it was important for Rocio and I to understand it, since Rocio has primarily been managing the consultant models for the life of the project, and we may have a bit more coordination to do as we get into IFC and then throughout CA. So I was hoping you could just walk us through and have an opportunity for us to ask questions. And Mike, I don't know if you have anything to add. I think the process works going further as well.
I'm just kind of going into this cold here. Devin and I haven't had a chance to catch up. So yeah, go ahead, Devin.
So yeah, first of all, I'm glad you asked, because you guys have had this thing going just because of COVID, and it's basically the most advanced construction collaboration system on the earth, and I like it a whole bunch, don't I, Mike? Yep. So anyway, also, is it okay if I record this just for I've been wanting to show the P's about this as well, so just figure it'd be a good opportunity to record if that's okay with you guys.
It's fine with me. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so first of all, just to really quickly fly through the document management system. So basically, when we set up the cloud, we set up teams, right? And then we assign each team to specific people. So you can do different permission things to where they can't download ours, or we can't download theirs, or vice versa. So once you set this up, then we also have design collaboration, model collaboration, and then this silly insight thing, which just shows you statistics about boring stuff. And this design collaboration thing. So this is the most widely used thing, because really all of your stuff can just be transferred with the click of a button, basically. So just to make this clear, so there's 3 things that you have to purchase in this scenario. So you have a Revit license, then you have the cloud license, and then you have another license that allows you to download the model from the cloud, which are the electrical and mechanical guy doesn't have that, so that's why we have to manually upload theirs, because they just can't do it because they don't have that extra $1,000 thing. But if everybody did have this stuff, first of all, you can have every team can use this if they don't have Revit or the cloud thing I was just talking about. So this is just a place where we send and receive information. And then what happens is when you set up the design collaboration, whenever we assign the different teams up here, each team has this consumed folder right here. So basically what you do is you go up here to design collaboration, and oopsie, I forgot a step. Just go over here really quick. So there's just one step in here. So what I've been doing is, so you go to this publish setting things, and all this is doing, this is for the cloud specifically. So what I did in their last model for these guys, the last time they gave us a model, I just went in there and I made this 3D coordination view. So whenever people are looking at the 3D model on the cloud, that just processes it and goes up to the cloud, and it's whatever view you have. And in this view, I have set up to where none of the consultant models are turned on, and that allows us just to use the clash detection thing. So see how I put this in here, issue for structure, and I did just slap all the sheets in there, but you don't really, all the structural guy wants is just this one here. He doesn't care about all these sheets because you guys are going through the Bluebeam manual process, right? So he doesn't even care about those. But if you want to look at the sheets and then mark them up using the cloud CA system, then you have to publish the sheets. So this will work for your, see how you make different sets every time you send your folders off? That doesn't make sense. You make a different set every time you issue a package, right? So this one right here is the one you just issued. So technically I would go in there and click this one and just add the 3D coordination view to it. And then when you go up here to this manage cloud model, so every time, it's Ryan, right, with FastStep is his name, right? Yep. I always get my two structural guys confused because we have another project, we have another structural guy that wants this too. But you just go up here, and we go up here and just press this button right here, which means if there's any changes in the model, it will publish the new sheets and that 3D view, and then it goes up to the cloud. So you just have to hit two buttons, and then you come over here, and then whenever you hit that button, what happens is you see how there's these little buttons right here, or these little circle things. You can see my screen. So every time we press publish, the button I just showed you, this little circle will show up. And then what we and the structural team, notice there's only us and the structural having these up here. So we just click this button right here, which means create a package. And then you go down here and you can add whatever you want to the package. Oh, come on, weak. Sorry. Got signed out. Come back over here. Okay, so I press the button, and then you go over here. The easiest way is just to go to your sets and then press this button, and that's all I did for the Ryan the other day. But notice how you can also in here, you can all this is from AutoCAD drawings and stuff that's hanging out in the cloud. So you can add basically any of these things, and when I say add the model, this is just the 3D model with that 3D view that will show up in the cloud. And if I press this button, shut up. If I press this button, it goes to the 3D model of the project. So this is that 3D coordination view that I have set up. And notice how you can't see any of the mechanical or anything because I had those turned off in my view. So also anyone that's in the project can go to the document management after you publish it, because you have to just press that button that sends it up to the cloud. So if I just go over here and I click on your file, it will have the 3D coordination view right here, and then it will have all the sheets and stuff as well. So this is how you use the cloud for CA because I can just go here, and when I click on this, it's basically a copy. It's like a PDF, but it's way smarter than a PDF. So you can go up here, I'll just click this guy, and what you can do, see how I'm clicking things in here? So you can actually click on things that are coming from the model. So this is a floor plan. I can click this thing here, and I can go to properties, loading, and then it literally tells me what phase it's on, what information it is, what size of the column, yada yada yada. So this is kind of just like using Bluebeam, but it's way better because you can you're actually kind of interacting with it live. So it's like a PDF, but it's way smarter. So so any of your project team, the mechanical and electrical guys, even though they don't have that extra open it from the cloud thing that costs another $1,000, they can still go in here and look at the stuff. So if I go on the flip side, if I go down here to structural and I click on his, so these are all his sheets right here. So I can just quickly go into his sheets. I can click on that, go to here, and then I can also you can put markups and stuff like that. And if we go back to ours, see how this has markups and issues right here? Do you guys remember making markups and issues on that? That was a trick question. I did that. I was just trying to show you what that was. But whenever I click it on here and I go to issues, see how I just, hey Brian, see how cool I am? So I sent you this a long time ago because I just wanted you to look at it. So in here you can do, it's just like Bluebeam, but it's way smarter because I can literally put a little dot on here, and here's the markup. And then you click this little dot. Actually, I don't think you have to click on there, but you can come up here and type a response or whatever, and then the cloud remembers all of these issues and markups and stuff like that. So here is a couple markups that I just made a while ago. Circle. So that's pretty much it. If you were using this for CA, it's a little bit more involved because you have to know how to manage your markups and your issues and stuff like that.
Hey Devin, on
Yes?
those BIM 360 sheets, how do you convert those to PDFs?
You just press print. Come up here. There's somewhere there's a print button. I haven't done it in a while. But yeah, you can just sorry. Yeah, you can somewhere in there's just a simple print function. I think it's export actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can. It would be new. It would be new if there was that feature, but yeah, I think it's one of those Autodesk things that is pretty contained within their sandbox.
Oh, okay. I think you have to add that to the plans, or yeah. When you make a, yeah, okay.
Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yep. Yeah, but printing PDF, if that's all you want to do, you can do that through the regular Revit. That's not a big deal. But I think there's also this plan thing where you can add whatever. So if you have one team that's doing AutoCAD, you can add the AutoCAD drawings plus your views from your sheet views to that, and then that's how you stick out. This is how you set up a transmittal. So you can just e-transmit that through the plans, but you have to have that set up in plans, I believe. Yep. So I can go create transmittals, architecture. this one. Okay, I guess you can do it this way too. And this would send a transmittal, and then it would send whatever sheets you have in your set that we published.
So I don't know if I don't still understand, like when Ryan tells us that they have a new model.
Yes, sorry.
Usually he sends us some kind of BIM 360 link, right?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot that part.
Or does he just tell us that they've published a new model?
Yeah.
What happens?
So basically, only with the structural, okay?
Yeah.
So basically, with the structural, they just like publish the model, and I'm doing basically the same. So the system or the process is different because mechanical and electrical are not working with the cloud. But typically, when a structural has a new model, they just like publish and then show up. If you go to the other, not design collaboration, the other one, the document management.
Yep. So sorry, I skipped.
So here in a structural is show up there.
Yep. Okay. So
is our model linking live to
exactly
that?
in our and unless Devan change it, my understanding is the structural model is literally linked to that file. So anytime that he publish, for us just update automatically. So the other thing that you have seen is that sometimes he does exactly the same thing that I have been doing. That is sent to a link with the model, downloaded model that is only for mechanical and electrical or for each.
Yep, very good question, because I forgot to talk about that part, and that's probably the only thing you wanted to hear. So anyway, here is, so right now I'm in our model, and this is the managed link, right, where you link them. So see how, here's the structural here. So so that is going to the consumed folder. So the process is when
Devan should not go to consume. So that is the thing that has been changed, because that structural folder is not a consume folder. So there is inside that structural folder, there is another folder that is consume. So I don't know if the things that you have been like doing is to, once that we receive, so you see that here. So if you say there, so here in a structural, we have that, right? And here we have this other consume.
Yeah.
So I don't know where this consume here structural. So that was not set up before this way. So, and this is the thing that I want to understand.
Yeah.
How is linked the model once that the structural issue the model.
Yep. Okay. So in our architecture folder, we have one called consumed. And whenever, so he puts the model up there, he creates the package, right? And then I just press a button and his updated model automatically gets transmitted to this folder right here. So you can see April 19th, that was the one he sent. But you have to manually go up here through the design collaboration tab and share. So when I click on this guy here, oops, this one. So whenever he sends you that email, basically he's saying that I published a new one, or I published a package for you, and the square means that is the package that he sent. And see how it says consumed on 4/19? So all as I did is I went in here and I clicked the square, and when you do it for the first time, there's a button right here that will show up and it will say consume. So then you just click that button and it automatically downloads that into that folder we were just looking at.
So just to clarify, it doesn't download it, it actually just moves it in the BIM 360 folders and hasn't downloaded anything yet.
Cool.
So it's just moving it in the cloud.
And the intent there is that because the folder that lives in the structural folder is actually structural's file.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then we have control over when we update our version of their file, because we can elect to consume it right when they issue it, or we can elect to consume it the following week, or whenever we want, right? And it will only update in our model once we consume the package.
Exactly. You remember that once? You remember that
Just
time?
a point of clarification, if I may, that particular file that Structural has published for us to consume isn't their working model. It is their published version that in the same manner that we prepared a consumable package for Structural, they're preparing a package for us to consume. So it is a copy of their model. It's not a live link.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Good
so
point.
in that case, what is the difference of the advantages between not using, so if I understand the model that is in the structural folder, that is not in the consume folder, is the published package for us to use. So what is the advantage between not using that one as used to be before and now have to go to design collaboration or design, whatever it's called, and pushing and have to be kind of like aware if we have like click the square, so then we are working with the latest model, or just to rely on the original file that anytime that is new is going to update as soon as you open the file with Revit.
Yep. Do you guys remember that one time where he freaked out because I was messing with his file? Remember that, Brian?
I do.
So the reason I was messing with that is because I normally, so how should I say that? I am not supposed to be able to go in and open his file. Normally we have restrictions on that. So that's why he was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that is your live file," because it was linked to that one. So I thought that's why I got all confused. But so yeah, the difference is technically we're not supposed to be able to open his file. That's a permission thing. So therefore you never link to his file, because he might be working on it, and if we hit refresh reload, let's say he was in the process of changing an entire parkade floor ramp or something, and then we hit reload and that ramp disappears, then we're like, what the hell, where'd this ramp go? Oh, I was not working on that. So that's why you publish it, because that's saying I am ready for you to read my model, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but no, because this file, if I understand, this file that we are seeing right now on the model, on the screen, is their published file. It's not their live file.
No, this is their live file. Because see how I'm in this.
Point of clarification again. It's not live in the sense that every save they make or save and commit that they make it's not live in the sense that every save they make is current, but every sync with Central that they make is updated.
And why we have access to that file?
And we have access to that file because, as what we would call...
We should not.
Correct, but as permission levels dictate, because we set up the project managers, BIM managers, and project leads do have permission level access to view, access, and download that particular file because we set up the project.
Yep. Yeah, because we basically own all of this, so we're the masters of everything. So that's why I was able to mess with this file on accident. That's what threw me off, because normally we set those up so you can't even touch those. So yeah.
In an ideal world, Autodesk wants you to work in a live environment. In the ideal world, in the realest sense of BIM, but we don't want to work that way. And so what we've been learning as we go along is that there are better methods to coordinate our models in a more traditional method that allow us to publish what we want others to see and consume what others want us to see in a managed fashion, at the same time being able to create a bit of a paper trail and an online archive of what we have consumed and what others have consumed, and then be able to more easily manage it while working in the cloud, working with other Revit users, but also being able to download copies for people that don't use Revit.
Yep. Case in point, like the mechanical electrical guys, they need. Do we send them our model when we do updates? Like, how do you guys? Okay, so you like email them or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
like a
Dropbox.
Dropbox transfer. Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So they don't even need to do that because they have access to the cloud. So whenever we publish that thing, they can literally just go up here and hit that consume button, and it will plop our model straight down there. So that's a whole step you don't even need to do.
If the permissions allow them to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
And right now we don't. The permissions on BIM 360 are actually a little bit sketchy when it comes to that aspect of sharing with people that don't use BIM 360. You're essentially making that entire folder public, and it's not just a specific link for that user. So we've got to be really careful about how we manage the permission for people that access the model that don't have BIM 360 subscriptions. So
Yep.
actually downloading and uploading to maybe something like Dropbox is an extra security measure that might be preferable.
Yep. Yeah, technically that's not a lot of work, but yeah, in the future, notice, like structural and us both have full capabilities. So in the future, everybody will be using this. And as far as our what we do, we just would hit this, make a package and consume it, and then we're done. And then all the consultants just do the same thing and consume it. And then whenever Ryan consumes ours, then he also has a shared folder here, or I'm sorry, consumed folder. So here is the architecture. So here is the model, and notice how it has his name on it because he pressed the consume button, so he consumed that. So one of the things that tells you which version, or which one's which, I guess I'd say, this is version 2, and we're in version like 11 or something, and then it has his name here, where in our folder, where it says consumed structural, it says updated by me, and this is also version 2. So that tells us that this structural folder is owned by us because he transmitted it to us.
Click on V2. So here's an archive of the models that we consumed. Actually, stop, please, go back. I think more importantly, click on V2 again. So a scenario here that might come into play at some point is, you know what, that's actually, we want to retract that model or that issue that we update to the model that we made. We're going to instruct the consultants to roll back, or we have been instructed to roll back to a previous version. If you gesture over those icons under V1, we have the ability to download, and what's the button to the right there? Make current. So we can swap versions if we need to quite quickly if we're using the incorrect version or have been instructed to roll back to a different version of the model.
Yep. And something that might go wrong is their intern had something turned off and somebody noticed it, and before they have a chance to republish it and all that stuff, like you're in the middle of a consultant meeting, coordination meeting, and somebody might say, oh, we need you to roll that back, so we can just click this and it goes back to the other one. And then I always like the compare versions here because you can literally go in here and see how he set up his called bi-weekly share. But you can go in here, and the nice thing about the cloud is it saves everything. So every time we press that publish button, see how it tells you what's added, removed between sessions. So sometimes you get in those little arguments like, I swear I put that up there, and yeah, I'll fix that or whatever. But you can literally go back here and see, oh, on this date, this truss was removed, and that's why that's messed up, because, and then they'll write that down and go fix it or whatever. But these things are really nice.
To support what Devin's saying is that because you can't delete what's been published and consumed, in combination with this comparison, there's a level of accountability that is trackable.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the list of changes or revisions in one image.
Yep. Because those lovely conversations where you're always like, no, you were supposed to do that, I was supposed to do this, and you've been in one of those arguments before, right? And this allows you to go back and say, oh, look, that was actually deleted by you. So, those fun conversations you get into. And then on ours, we can do that as well. So you can go back here. And these are all of the versions that we have in there. Technically, there's like 25 or 30 of these, but this is the one that I accidentally overwrote and killed the version history, and Mike was not happy with me on that one. So,
Hey, sorry guys, I have a hard out at 3 o'clock here, and I'm already a few minutes past. My apologies. So Devin, thanks for that walkthrough. Brian and Rufio, we'll follow up with probably some more in-depth instruction and some teachable aspects of this that are digestible.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if Rufio, if you're comfortable with all the steps, but I'm just not entirely clear on like step by step what we do to create, like to publish and create the package that Ryan then gets.
Yeah.
It sounds like for us to get structurals, we receive an email from him letting us know that he's published something. We go into the design collaboration, we click on the little square, an option comes up for us to consume it, and we just click that, and then we're done.
Exactly.
That's all we do.
And then you just have to reload your link.
Reload through Revit.
Reload the link. Okay.
Yep.
Just refresh that.
Yep.
All your versioning is sitting there, so you don't need to worry about, if it's a Revit user that uses BIM 360, you don't need to worry about renaming files or anything. It's all just sitting there ready for you in the ideal world where everyone uses BIM 360. But we're not there yet.
Yep.
Okay, thanks guys, I gotta run.
Cool.
Thanks, Mike.
And then I'll just walk you through this one more time. So
That would be great, yeah, if you don't mind. Thanks.
okay, so it's the day that we're transmitting models. So I or Rocio can do this as well. So I go into, firstly, I go in here to publish settings, and since you guys aren't using the 2D sheets, you really don't even need to do this part. But just as long as you have this guy in here, that's the important one, because that's just the 3D view that shows up on the cloud. And we're also setting that up. I had it set up with a clash detection, but they deleted my view in the mechanical and electrical. So then you would go, okay, I'm doing issue, this one, whatever, save and close. And then...
So would we create a new issue every time that we publish?
No, you don't need to do that. So that's just, if you are using the 2D sheets for Bluebeam, like instead of Bluebeam, then you have to do that, because, you're going to have... it shoots up your sheets in the, like when you're doing an addendum, you're only sticking out like 6 sheets or whatever, right? So you just want those showing up in that addendum. So therefore you would do that, because it would show on the cloud what sheets are in addendum 3 versus IFC or whatever. So really you don't have to do anything, because I already have it turned on for you. So you just go up here to manage cloud models. So step 1, go to manage cloud models. Go to your project, which you should only have one in your dashboard, right? Because I'm just on every project. So you go to your project, and you go here, you hit this little button.
Another, that is the backup.
What's
go
it?
to the lower one, right? To the second.
Say that again.
This is your backup. This first file that you are hitting is the backup. So you go to the second line.
Oh yes, sorry. So yes, good eye. So yeah, see that little up arrow thing? So that will publish your changes. So like for instance, in my 3D model or whichever 3D view I have set up, like let's say that you put in a Ferris wheel inside of your model, because I actually worked on a project and we put a Ferris wheel in there. So you have to have that visible, or else you can't see it on the cloud, and he can't see the Ferris wheel until you go up here and hit this Manage Cloud Model button, and then you send it to the cloud for publishing, basically. So you go in here, go to Bay Street, go to your model, hit that up arrow, and then it goes up to the cloud, and it takes a minute to process. And then, so after that gets done processing, you'll see there'll be a little spinny wheel right here that tells you it's still processing. So normally you do this like the day before, and then it will be done when you come in the next day. Usually it only takes like 30 minutes to an hour to do it. So this thing will have a little spinny wheel right here, and once that's done spinning, then you go over here to the Design Collaboration tab. Every time you press that button, oh, and by the way, you always have to hit this stupid thing up here to make the timeline pop down. And then every time that you press that button, it will give you this little thing. Zoom in. So this is just a 421. Did anybody press that button today, or I guess not? So this just tells you that there are changes or whatever. I did that because I pressed
It's
this
not
button.
possible because I had not been working on Revit today.
Okay, I think that was because I hit this button earlier. But anyway, so you see this little plus button, which means create a new package.
I was in Revit and I did sync. I don't know if that
Yep,
makes a
so
difference.
you made a change.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that it makes that little, the circle is dashed.
Okay.
But when we press the Manage Cloud Model up arrow thing, it becomes a solid circle. And then when you press the Create a Package, it becomes a square. But so see this little share button right here that's grayed out. So right now it's grayed out because I have to go in here and select stuff. So technically you can just go down to this guy. I think it's not letting me do that because there's changes in it since you sunk, and you have to press the button. But you can just go down here to this guy, which this is the one that I've always had it checked for him. And then why is it not doing it? Yeah, this is frustrating because you have to existing. You have to hit that button first before it does stuff. Let me try to do this one. Nope. Anywho, so you click this and then you hit this share button and you're done. So you go up here, Design Collaboration, hit this plus. So all you do, rewind again, Manage Cloud Models, hit the up button, go to your Design Collaboration, hit this square, select what set or what model you want to send him, and then press share. And then he comes along and presses the consume button is literally right here when you're doing it in the opposite way. And then he just presses consume, it copies it over to his consume folder, then he just goes into Revit, reloads that link, you're done. So the whole process takes you about like 2 minutes once you've done it a couple times.
Okay. When we are doing the same to bring the updated structural model, is exactly the same, but in that case you will have the structural label here with that square button, and we just like press that button.
Yep. So you just go up here and literally click it like this, and I've already consumed it, that's why it's not showing up right here. But when you click this square, you'll just see consume right here, and all you do is click the button and it does it all for you.
Okay.
And then you just have to reload your link in Revit.
Mm-hmm.
And I can write down all the steps for you if you want to.
And mechanical and electrical, that is a different system. We are still doing So I understand that the thing that we have been doing is whenever we receive from Dropbox the model, you
Yep.
are just uploading into the cloud.
Yep.
So that in the document management,
Yeah. So
they
what?
have them.
Yep. So what I have to do is I literally go here, like you said, hey, fix it, and I went okay. So I went down here to mechanical. It's a little ghetto or whatever because I have to click here and then I have to delete the thing, and then I just open the model and then I send it up to the cloud. So I think I actually opened that thing just now.
When you say that you open the model, why do you open the model?
Because
Why don't you just upload
because
file?
it has to be uploaded like that for it to be a live linking thing. If I'm not saying that right, you have to do it that way. Well, I guess you don't have to do it that way.
I think that you have to. I think that you just upload the file into the cloud.
Yep.
That's it, and that is the link. So I would prefer not to have to open any consultant file.
Yeah.
So for me, any file that I receive from a consultant is sacred. So it's kind of like I just link. I don't deal with the file. I don't open the file.
Yep. Yeah, I think I was doing that because because technically you can just go to upload here, but you do have to delete it first because it will, if they're the same name, it won't let you do that. Oh, that's why I have to open it and rename it, just because I don't know. I was just doing that like out of habit.
I would prefer not to open any consultant file.
Okay, yeah, because
where do we upload them to? Do we upload them to our? Because shouldn't our consumed folder have mechanical and electrical?
No, because
subfolders?
the consumed folder is only for when you use that function. So if I go to electrical and I click consumed, see how there's nothing there? Because that team has to actually hit the consume button for it to go into the folder.
Within our architecture folder, what's in our consumed folder? Only structural?
Yep. Yeah, if you might, next time you talk to these guys, you might ask them to go here, and I don't know if they've even ever opened this thing, but they totally can use this thing as just a file, like a Dropbox, because they can upload it just like I did. And you might see, because they still should be able to go up here, because I did give them permission on the design collaboration, so they should still be able to go up here and click our folder over here and then consume it. I think they should be able to. So you might ask them next time you talk to them and say, hey, that way you're skipping that whole step altogether, because they can just download it. But in the document management, you would notice how they did not have any consumed stuff in there, and we don't have theirs in our consumed because we have never consumed their model. So
so our live link is linking directly to the electrical and mechanical folders?
Exactly.
Which normally wouldn't happen.
Nope. Not in the full-blown perfect world, perfect scenario or whatever.
Because their files are all stored on their local networks and are totally divorced from
yes.
this whole BIM
Well,
360.
because the files that they send is a Dropbox link. So it's a download file that is not linked at all with the current file that they have been working, for example, this morning.
Nope.
So and actually, anytime that I get the models, I file them in our server.
Yep.
And we're uploading them to BIM 360 just for the convenience of being able to link. Like, we could link it to our server as well if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Exactly. They used to be in our server actually, because as they were not using the cloud, just to save that excess step, they used to be linked to the server.
Yep. It's just more convenient to throw it up on ours because one week I did go into their files and I just set up that 3D coordination view, because remember I was showing you the clash detection thing? They just had to have a 3D view for our 3D view to jive together in the clash detection thing. So that's why I went into their model and just set up that 3D view. So then we could also use the clash detection features in there as well. But they're basically doing it total old school, where they send their files to us and then we put it on the server. Because maybe in like a year when COVID goes away, we probably will stop using this as much because it's really stupidly expensive, and we're just using it as a file server right now, which is unfortunate because it has so much more cool stuff that you can use. So, but we might go back to hosting our models on the server again. I'm sure we will, or not. I don't know. Just a ton of money to be using it, but because of COVID, it was kind of like a common sense thing that Autodesk used, just because everybody's in different parts of the world or whatever last year. So.
I see. Because if you're not using BIM 360, then you're just hosting your file directly on your network, and as long as you have VPN access or local area network access, then you would just work off it.
Yep. Because another tricky thing, I'm sure you never heard this conversation, but like Harry, for instance, he can't, I don't know if he can or not, but when you're in different parts of the world, the VPN thing, it won't allow you to go to different countries sometimes. Like we had a colleague in like Hungary, and it wouldn't allow us to VPN to his country because he's like in Eastern Europe, and there's like the old red curtain is still up there at Digital World or something. But so that's another reason why this is a good thing to use, because you're just putting it up in the cloud and it doesn't matter where the heck you are in the world because you're just talking to their cloud. So.
Right.
Yep. But
Okay.
next time you do this, I'll just I can walk you through and just watch it real quick, and then it's really easy. It's just kind of have to do it a couple times. I even had to remember myself how to do it when we were doing it for Ryan the first time.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful. Maybe the next time we're going to publish, or the next time we're receiving a published model, we can just go through it together.
Yep. And then we might, when you talk to those guys again, just ask them, have they ever turned that on? Like, have they ever gone to the BIM 360 and looked at it at all? And then
The M&E guys, you mean?
what's that?
The M&E people, you mean?
Yeah.
Or, like,
Yeah, the mechanical and MC or whatever, MCW.
CW.
And then just ask them if they've even, because they have total access to this, so they could use it. And the nice thing about this is, even if people are doing AutoCAD, if they can still upload their AutoCAD files and their PDFs. For PDFs, you have to put them in this plan department, but therefore you don't even need to use Bluebeam, and everything is in here. But it's a whole nother learning process to go through the CA stuff. But
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. What do you think, Rodrigo? Is that good for now? We'll just wait for the next. I think it'd be good to do a walkthrough next time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is clear.
yeah, it was just easier for me to do it because you've never actually pressed buttons before. But next time we go through that and he sends you another one, then I'll just walk through it with you, and therefore you can do it next time.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Yep.
Thanks for stopping by. Be sure to subscribe and like and that notification thing and whatever YouTube stuff you guys do. Have a good one.